India and Canada relations nosedive. Both sides expel top diplomats amid the blame game over the murder of terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Mumbai police makes the fourth arrest in the Baba Siddiqui murder case. The accused, identified as Harish Kumar Balakram, has been arrested from UP's Bahraich. In a big boost to the armed forces, India signs a deal with the United States to acquire 31 MQ-9B Predator drones. The Election Commission of India is set to announce the schedule for the elections to the Maharashtra and Jharkhand assemblies. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in Pakistan today for the SCO conclave, marking the first such visit from India in 9 years. The Home Ministry has called a meeting of Meitei, Naga and Kuki-Zo MLAs in the national capital today to address the ethnic strife in Manipur. Supreme Court issues notice to centre and the Election Commission on plea to declare freebies as bribes. And it's raining heavily in many parts of southern India. Heavy rains lash Bengaluru as well as Chennai. Hello and a very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching this special broadcast from our studios here in the National Capital Region. Of course, the Election Commission is shortly going to be announcing the election dates for the assemblies of Jharkhand and Maharashtra. There's much to talk about. It seems like the hangover of the Congress's rout in Haryana or the J&K jostle hadn't even died down, and we're already looking at two important pivotal polls that are up for grabs and are soon going to be getting underway. Joining me here in the studio are my colleagues Kartikeya Sharma and Brijesh Pandey, and essentially the Election Commission is shortly going to be announcing the dates for the Maharashtra and Jharkhand polls. The term of the 288-member Maharashtra Assembly is going to end on the 26th of November. In Maharashtra, the ruling Mahayuti coalition, made up of the BJP, the Shiv Sena and the Nationalist Congress Party, Ajit Pawar faction, will compete against the Mahavikas Aghadi, which includes the Congress Party, the Sharad Pawar-led NCP and the Uddhav Thackeray-led Shiv Sena UBT. Meanwhile, the Jharkhand Assembly, which has about 81 seats, will finish its term on January 5th, 2025. And in Jharkhand, the ruling Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, part of the India bloc, will go against the National Democratic Alliance NDA, which includes the All Jharkhand Students Union, AJSU, the Janata Dal United, JDU and the BJP. And the Bharatiya Janata Party is expected to release its first candidate list for the Maharashtra polls with over 60 plus names in the coming days. Many are suggesting this to be in the next 48 hours itself, once it's cleared by the Central Election Committee. BJP's National President JP Nadda and Union Home Minister Amit Shah also held a marathon of meetings yesterday in the national capital with key leaders from the party's Maharashtra unit and the two state election in charges, namely Bhupender Yadav and Ashwini Vaishnav. The party's Maharashtra unit has finalized about 100 candidates, including sitting MLAs for the CEC to choose from. But then again, the Congress Party too convened a meeting to strategize for the Maharashtra Assembly elections, discussing key topics such as seat sharing with allies in the MBA and electoral guarantees. The party aims to avoid the mistakes that led to its defeat in the recent Haryana elections. The meeting, chaired by Party President Mallikarjun Kharge at his residence in the national capital, was attended by former party chief Rahul Gandhi, Maharashtra Congress President Nana Patole, leader of opposition in the Maharashtra Assembly Vijay Wadetiwar, and senior leader Bala Sahab. Having burnt its fingers over Haryana, the Congress leadership wants the state party to unite and be very cautious in each step of the way. Leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, told the state leadership to shun overconfidence and work unitedly to achieve victory in the upcoming state assembly polls. Ajit K. Jha, senior journalist, also joins us on the broadcast. A very warm welcome to you. Always a pleasure to have you with us on the broadcast. Now, let's get the ball rolling here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to first go to my colleagues here. Brijesh, this isn't going to be a straight fight, neither for Maharashtra or for Jharkhand. Mind you, 10 seats, for UP by-elections are also going to be up for grabs. That announcement is also expected. But first and foremost, these two states, Jharkhand, Maharashtra, no straight fights. It's a coalition war. What are you expecting? It is certainly exciting. We're expecting dates from the ECI shortly.
Well, I think, you know, what will happen is that if you take Maharashtra and Jharkhand into consideration, Kabir, the fact is if the BJP-led NDA is able to win these two states, I think, you know, the shock getting 240 seats in Lok Sabha will be truly over. Now you will see the BJP of the last year 2019 into full play, and the Congress and all will be reduced back to where they were in 2019. This is an extremely crucial election, especially the one in Maharashtra, because it is not, as many had thought in Haryana. It was BJP versus Congress, which gave a decisive edge to the BJP. This is a Mahavikas Aghadi coalition, and I think whenever it comes to coalition fight, the coalition partner seems to have done better, compared to the fact that whenever it is a direct fight between BJP and the Congress party. Same is the case with Jharkhand. I think these two elections are the make or mar elections as far as the 2024, this particular year is concerned.
All right, Karthik, I'm going to come to you next. We do have to decode, did the Congress party now lose out on the bargaining chips after the rout in Haryana? They were left completely red-faced. Also, the corrupt card, will it work in Jharkhand? But essentially, what are the issues, the core issues on which both these elections are going to be fought on?
See, more than core issues, what will really determine this election is the sort of seat-sharing alliance which will happen between the two formations, whether it is Shiv Sena of Eknath Shinde, NCP of Ajit Pawar or Bharatiya Janata Party, or whether it is Sharad Pawar, Congress and Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray's party. So the seat sharing is key to the election win in Maharashtra. The most important thing to understand is that these are not the elections between Congress party led alliance and BJP led alliance in Maharashtra. This will be an India alliance versus truly an NDA alliance. Now, India alliance means that the Congress after Haryana will not have that political elbow room. Congress will find it very difficult to call the shots. They could have called the shots if they would have won Haryana, but I don't think that space is available to them. Even in Jharkhand, they are a smaller party. Though Congress has done pretty well in Maharashtra in Lok Sabha elections, but going by their electoral record in Jharkhand, they will have to play a second fiddle. And let us not forget that there, Lalu Prasad party is also very important. And then you have smaller regional formations. So these two elections are India alliance elections. First of all, they are not Congress elections. It ultimately depends how these elections will turn out to be in context of issue. Election in Haryana, Congress thought was on Pahalwan, Kisan and other issues, but it turned out that it became an issue of Chhattis Biradari versus one. So in Maharashtra, what are the prominent issues now? Reservation, Maratha Andolan, jobs, lack of growth in certain areas, a depressed cooperative sector, which once used to be the backbone of the Congress party. In fact, Amit Shah is the cooperative minister, and he has made the last 5 years to make inroads for Bharatiya Janata Party and take them into the Congress heartland. So those issues, those power sectors will play an important role. But I would say that ultimately it will all boil down to if they are able to project one chief ministerial candidate, one. And secondly, I would say seamless election campaigning without one section saying that they are not getting vote. There are a couple of Dalit leaders in Maharashtra from the Congress camp, and they have started to say the same thing, that they are not getting enough representation. Shailaja's statement and lack of cooperation costed Congress party a lot in Haryana. So these are the issues which the Congress will need to work around.
Well, absolutely. Rahul Gandhi has already said it quite categorically. We need to take our steps very cautiously. We're going to have to slip into a quick commercial break here, but we're going to come back right on to this. Ajit K. Jha, many thanks for patiently waiting. We're going to come to you right on the other side of this quick break. There's a lot to talk about. ECI to shortly announce the poll dates for Maharashtra and Jharkhand, and of course, UP by polls as well. Don't go anywhere.
A warrior so brave he'll forever be hailed. Maharashtra,
Maharashtra is a hit.
Maharashtra tourism.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है Money9। आजादी पैसे, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
This is News9 Live, India's only digital exclusive live stream. For the early adopters, bringing you the news 24/7. For the smart audiences on the smartest TVs. News9 Live. Stream now on your smart TVs.
Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning into News 9 Live. We're continuing with our special broadcast because we're trying to understand as India goes to vote, what does the assembly elections of Jharkhand and Maharashtra have in store for us. On the broadcast with us is Ajit K. Jha, senior journalist. Ajit, with Maharashtra and Jharkhand, of course, 10 seats of Uttar Pradesh by-polls, they're also going to be announced. Now, let's not forget, the BJP might just end up contesting 9 of these. But on the other side, you know, the UP ke do ladke, you've seen Samajwadi Party come out with its own list of 6 candidates even before the Congress Party could come out. What are you expecting? How are you looking at the UP by-polls?
See, by-polls is very difficult to predict because usually if you look in UP, the by-poll results are half the time opposite of assembly results or Lok Sabha results. But the thing is that in UP, BJP did so badly in the Lok Sabha that they have basically given the entire responsibility to the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. And he this time wants to basically, he's the boss of the entire UP by-poll elections. So obviously he's taking it very seriously. All the policies of the government is now targeted for these by-poll results. So I think the BJP might have an edge, but very difficult to predict. If you remember, in 2017 when he had come for Yogi Adityanath had come for the first time, by-polls were held in Gorakhpur, the BJP had lost. In fact, again in Deputy Chief Minister's constituency, the by-polls were held, the BJP lost. So by-polls don't follow the same trends as that of Lok Sabha or that of assembly results. So prediction is very difficult, but BJP will certainly have an edge in these by-poll elections in UP.
Out of these 10 seats, that we're putting out on our screens as well, Ajit, Katehari, Karhal, Milkipur, Mirapur, Ghaziabad, Majhawan, Shishmau, Khair, Phulpur, Kundarki. Could you point out or throw some light on what could turn out to be a key battle? What seats could be, really exciting and interesting to watch?
Phulpur has always been an exciting battle, right? In the past also. In fact, it was one of the most important constituencies in UP. Similarly, I wouldn't venture at this stage because, as I said, by-poll results are very, very difficult to give any kind of indication. First of all, the elections are going to be held in November, December. So you have quite a lot of time in terms of campaign in terms of candidates. So I think a lot will depend on what will be the agenda at that time during the elections in these constituencies. But I wouldn't venture, because after Haryana, I don't think anyone who understands election should venture, let alone, especially I would say, in a bipole. But you know, Muzaffarnagar is the other area constituency, which is again a very, very tight constituency. Again, in this particular assembly constituency, I'm not very sure, but generally Muzaffarnagar has been a very, very interesting constituency.
Ajit, Kartike here. You know, today I was listening to a conversation of Kapil Sibal. Though he has left the Congress party, his heart is there, and he admitted in the program with two veteran journalists of newspaper. You know, they were having their own YouTube program, and Mr. Sibal was the host. He was the one playing the journalist, and other two journalists were the guests. I don't want to take the name, but you know, you can go on YouTube and watch it. Now, the most interesting part was, since you said that after Haryana, people should not take a chance. But, you know, Kapil had done a splendid job. You know, in Haryana, what Kapil had done was that Kapil went seat by seat. And you would be amazed to know that the number of seats on which the rebel Congress candidates more votes than the Congress candidate in Jat area. So, Kapil was arguing in that, he's saying it just goes on to show that you selected the wrong candidate. So I would say, taking on from the point you have made, yes, you are right. Do not hazard straight conclusions, but I think the proof of the pudding would be in selecting the right candidate, and then will come the battle of booth management. Haryana has showed it that they picked up wrong candidates. मतलब 17,000 मिल रहे हैं कांग्रेस को, और जो रेबल है उसको मिल रहे हैं 19,000, तो इसका मतलब है जो रेबल है कांग्रेस का वो सही आदमी था, और ऐसे कई सारे थे. तो आई थिंक अजीत, you know, this will be the biggest challenge for the Congress party. And the second, again, that narrative part which I said, if Dalit leaders of the Congress start saying that we need more representation and we are not being heard, then it's a death knell for their campaign. क्योंकि जो constitutional और संविधान वाली बात है, it rests on Dalit outreach. Ajit, your thoughts?
Well, you know, for example, if you take Ayodhya seat, I mean, in Ayodhya, the BJP lost. But I doubt this time they can risk that. They'll put all their eggs in one basket, and they want to win the Milkipur seat in Ayodhya. Similarly, I would argue in Manipur, the Samajwadi Party, you know, given its, it used to be a pocket borrow for many years, so the Samajwadi Party would have an edge. But these are all, you know, very general indication. The problem is we don't know who will be the candidate, what will be the agenda. So going seat by seat without knowing the agenda, without knowing the candidates, it is very difficult to predict. But in general, if you want to know, obviously, you know, places like Ayodhya has been BJP's strength, except then they lost in Lok Sabha, for example. Similarly, as I said, Manipur. Ghaziabad is again a place where BJP is very strong. So without risking any kind of prediction, I would argue this might be a test for Yogi Adityanath. If Yogi Adityanath doesn't do very well in these bipole elections, we might see a different chief minister before the next assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. So therefore, Yogi Adityanath is going to put his 150% in this election. And of course, the central leadership of the BJP is going to support him. But I think the main person here is Yogi Adityanath. Because, as I said, he is on the defensive, he has already started preparation. In fact, most of the MLAs have been moved, most of the MPs of that area have moved to these assembly constituencies. The RSS is going out all, you know, they're almost fighting this battle as if it is the next assembly election of UP. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Of course, the focus in the country will be on Maharashtra and Jharkhand, which is again, you know, very difficult to predict. But if you just simply look at the Lok Sabha results, 2024, because that's the last election results we have in front of us, then in that case, if you and forget Haryana has set a narrative, right, that Congress can't just win anymore. But forget that narrative for a moment. Then I feel that in Maharashtra, basically Congress, Shiv Sena, UBT, Thackeray, and Sharad Pawar, that alliance has an edge because they literally won 30 seats, which is almost double of what the NDA won in the Lok Sabha. And the reason we are harping on the Lok Sabha results, normally Lok Sabha and Assembly should not be compared. But the reason we are harping on it is two. A, that the Lok Sabha results are very close to the Assembly elections, right? The same year, both are being held. And number two, the last Assembly election, if you look at Maharashtra, the results don't matter much. Why? Because both the Shiv Sena broke and so did...
That's right. There's a complete shift in what was the scenario back in 2019 to what there is right now. But a pertinent point that you've raised vis-a-vis a litmus test for Yogi Adityanath, that is an interesting aspect. And Brijesh, I wanted your input on that, but you're going to have to wait. We're going to slip into a quick commercial break here. Right on the other side, shortly from now, the Election Commission is going to announce the dates for the Assembly elections in Maharashtra and Jharkhand, and of course the 10 seats for UP bypolls. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, why are so many lights on? Is it Navroz?
Settling accounts, uncle?
No, writing a love letter. Check your accounts every day and ensure there is no mismatch. Exchange sends trade-related messages daily. Do timely verification. And if there is a mismatch, inform the exchange immediately.
सोच कर, समझ कर, invest कर.
This is News9 Live, India's only digital exclusive live stream. For the early adopters, bringing you the news 24/7. For the smart audiences on the smartest TVs. News9 Live. Stream now on your smart TVs.
Cooking is an act of love. The first act of love we receive from our mothers in the families.
Modern Indian food is all about contemporary and innovative approach to traditional Indian cooking.
Representation it's also important, you know.
I want to wear this white coat every day and then be a chef.
There are stories. If we name a whiskey is Indri, then there is a whole story behind that.
Cooking food is like a therapy, and eating one is like a pleasure I can give it to myself. With Lounge Nights, I'm on a journey to celebrate and recognize the best food and nightlife establishments in various cities across India.
Radico presents Lounge Nights every Saturday and Sunday only on News9 Live.
Welcome back. You're watching the special broadcast of India Votes. Shortly from now, the Election Commission of India is going to announce the Assembly election dates for the state of Jharkhand and Maharashtra. And ever since the announcement was made that the ECI is going to be doing that press conference, and shortly from now, Rajiv Kumar, the Chief Election Commissioner, is going to be putting in front of us the dates for Assembly elections to Maharashtra and Jharkhand and the 10 UP bypolls. Let's listen in to some political reactions as well. There's a lot of cacophony amongst the political corridors in terms of the sudden announcement of dates for Assembly elections to Maharashtra and Jharkhand. Listen in.
तो सीट शेयरिंग का मीटिंग अभी पूरा क्लोज नहीं हुआ है. जब होगा तब आपको पता चलेगा. ऐसा 288 जगहों पे महाविकास अघाड़ी लड़ेगी, यही हमने बात कही है. देखो, हमारी पूरी तैयारियां है, हम इलेक्शन के लिए तैयार हैं और चुनाव का इंतजार कर रहे हैं।
एमएलसी अपॉइंट जो किए जा रहे हैं सरकार की तरफ से, कैसे
देखो ये तो चुनावी जुमला है और किस तरह संवैधानिक व्यवस्था से बेईमानी की जाती है ये बीजेपी ने पूरे देश को सिखा रही है। ये जो घटना आज उन लोगों ने एमएलसी के बारे में की है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में ये प्रकरण चल रहा है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट को भी ये नहीं सुन रहे हैं, तो इसका मतलब ही है कि पावर का दुरुपयोग करना ये बीजेपी का काम है और आज वो जिस तरह से हम कोर्ट में इस मामले में जाएंगे।
कहूंगी कि पूरे महाराष्ट्र वासी, मुंबई निवासी सभी के साथ एक मत से इंतजार कर रहे थे कब इलेक्शन कमीशन घोषणा करेगा इलेक्शन होने की। हमने लोकसभा में चुनाव जीता, जनता का विश्वास जीता, पर हमें पूरा विश्वास है और हर शिव सैनिक इसका इंतजार कर रहा था कि ये जो गद्दार लोग हैं जिन्होंने पार्टी के ही साथ गद्दारी नहीं की, इन्होंने खोखे के आधार पर महाराष्ट्र के साथ गद्दारी की। हम बार बार इलेक्शन कमीशन को याद दिला रहे थे कि जिस तरीके से हरियाणा में चुनाव घोषित किया महाराष्ट्र में होना चाहिए, पर हमारे आवाज को दरकिनार किया गया। 10 दिन, अक्टूबर के पहले ही 10 दिन में करीब 1300 से ज्यादा गवर्नमेंट रेजोल्यूशन पास हुए हैं, जिसमें लाखों करोड़ों सरकारी लूट शामिल है, जहां पे ऐसे ऐसे निर्णय लिए गए हैं जो सरकारी खजाने को खत्म करने वाले निर्णय हैं। जिस तरीके से लाड़की बहन योजना आई लोकसभा चुनाव के बाद, जिस तरीके से कल टोल टैक्स को लेकर उन्होंने जो फीस थी वो खत्म की है, जिस तरीके से आज गवर्नर के अप्रूवल के साथ 7 एमएलसी को चुना जा रहा है जबकि पूरा मामला हाईकोर्ट में अभी रिजर्व है, ये सारी चीजें दर्शाती हैं कि घबराई हुई सरकार जिसने सिर्फ सत्ता के बल पे, केंद्र की सत्ता के बल पे सिर्फ केंद्र सरकार का काम किया, वो जानती है कि अब वो उनका आखिरी पड़ाव है, वो जाने वाली है। 4 दिन की उनकी चांदनी जो है अब काली रात आने वाली है और महाराष्ट्र वासी उनको ये दिन दिखाने वाले हैं।
देखिए, महाविकास आघाड़ी पूरी तरीके से तैयार है। महाविकास आघाड़ी के हमारे जो घटक है, कांग्रेस है, राष्ट्रवादी पवार साहब पक्ष है, शिवसेना उद्धव जी की है और हमारे जो मित्र पक्ष है, इकट्ठा मिलके हम चुनाव लड़ने जा रहे हैं। इकट्ठा मिलके हम चुनाव को सामने जाएंगे, इकट्ठा लड़ेंगे। बहुत अच्छा तालमेल हमारे बीच में है और ये चुनाव जिस प्रकार से आज महाराष्ट्र की जनता नाराज है, किसान नाराज है। 2 साल में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ने कपास को दाम नहीं दिया, सोयाबीन को दाम नहीं मिला, यहाँ पे हमारे विदर्भ में संतरा और मौसम्बी तो उसको दाम नहीं है, धान को दाम नहीं है, उधर प्याज होता है महाराष्ट्र में कुछ डिस्ट्रिक्ट में, तो ये किसान बहुत नाराज है। फर्टिलाइजर की कीमतें बढ़ गई है, इंसेक्टिसाइड की कीमतें बढ़ गई है, उसी प्रकार महंगाई बढ़ गई है। जो खाने का तेल जो घर में लगता है खाना बनाने के लिए, वो तेल 100 रुपये लीटर था, अभी 145-150 रुपये लीटर हो गया है। उसी प्रकार हमारी युवा है, बड़े बड़े उद्योग जो महाराष्ट्र में आने वाले थे, बड़े बड़े उद्योग जो मिहान में, नागपुर में आने वाले थे, ये उद्योग जैसे टाटा फॉक्सकॉन जो मिहान में आने वाला था, टाटा फॉक्सकॉन मिहान में नागपुर में आता तो उसमें करीबन 1.5 लाख युवाओं को नौकरी मिल सकती थी, लेकिन ये टाटा फॉक्सकॉन जो नागपुर के मिहान में आने वाला था वो उद्योग गुजरात में गया।
All right, the former Home Minister of Maharashtra over there, it seems like the issues he's banking on are, of course, price rise and that of unemployment. But where is this confidence coming from for the MVA? And I think let's look at this question from a different prism altogether. From the other way around, Eknath Shinde, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, has he established his own credentials?
Well, he has, and that has become a bit of worry for the Bharatiya Janata Party because initially when he broke the Shiv Sena party and became the original Shiv Sena and joined the Bharatiya Janata Party, he was regarded as a pushover. But a lot has changed. He has cemented himself or his position as a chief minister. He is no more a pushover, and it would look like as if Devendra Fadnavis was the one who was calling the shot. Now Devendra Fadnavis runs the risk of being relegated to Delhi and not be an active player as far as state of Maharashtra is concerned. So it'll be very, very interesting to watch out, the number of seats he gets and the kind of influence he commands from the Mahayuti alliance. I think there was supposed to be a press conference at 2:30 of Mahayuti, but I think they would now be waiting for the election commission's press conference to get over before they announce their number of seats. I think, but this we have to also understand, and I understand the hesitation on the part of Ajit, where he says that, it's very risky to hazard a guess. But I think, this situation is completely different. Right now, if you go from brass tack of NDA to Mahayuti, if it's a Mahavikas Aghadi to Mahayuti, I think your Mahavikas Aghadi is in a much better and a slightly more comfortable position. And it is not just, it's Congress versus BJP. They have two more people in the card. The fact that, that Ajit Pawar, NCP, still remains the Achilles heel of Mahayuti. They have not been able to solve out because, his induction led to this direct questioning of the Prime Minister and also the BJP stance against corruption. You say that na khaunga, na khane dunga, and all of a sudden the person you term as the most corrupt person, political personality, joins the Mahayuti. So, there are a lot of things which the BJP also needs to iron out before they can claim to be the runner. So, all in all, I think, it's going to be a very fascinating battle. If the Mahavikas Aghadi wins Maharashtra, I think they will be able to completely blunt the advantage of Haryana election which the BJP has.
All right, point taken. Eknath Shinde, from the shadows of Bala Saheb Thackeray, casting shadows, let alone his own peers at this point in time. But talking about his own peers, Karthikeya, Devendra Fadnavis, is he the same person he was, let's say, about half a decade back? Does he control the same kind of power, enjoy the same kind of sway?
I don't think he is the same person, and I don't think he's the person, the same power situation. When Devendra Fadnavis came, he was part of a larger experiment. And the larger experiment was that in Maharashtra, Jharkhand and Haryana elections, those were held simultaneously in 2014. So in Haryana, you had a non-Jat called Manohar Lal Khattar, a Khatri Punjabi, who went on to become the Chief Minister. In Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, who was a Brahmin, he replaced the Congress leadership. And in Jharkhand, you had Raghubar Das, who was a Bengali, and he came and replaced the tribal leadership. So this experiment worked for Bharatiya Janata Party, but I think the shape that Maharashtra politics has taken over reservation, and especially in context of this Andolan by the Kunbis, there's an old saying that any Kunbi which becomes richer in its own setting becomes a Maratha. So this Maratha politics is sociologically complex phenomena. It's not an easy thing. It is inherent part of a social cycle of Hinduism which sees upward and downward mobility that now has been affected by the instrument of reservation. Now everyone wants to be part of it. 150 years ago, everyone wanted to be a forward caste. So it's a reverse thing. So, first of all, if you look at the movement of the Kunbis and the Marathification of their polity, it was a movement towards forward caste politics. But with the changed economic enterprise of the state and unemployment, like Patels and Gujarat, they want to be part of the reservation because you have no jobs in the private sector.
Karthikeya, I hate to interject over here, but you see the Chief Election Commissioner over there, Rajiv Kumar. It seems like they've all taken their seats. The press conference is shortly going to be underway. Let's quickly give the last say to Ajit Ji, who's with us on the broadcast. Ajit Ji, talking about seat sharing vote for the INDIA bloc. Well, what do you think is going to happen in the state of Maharashtra?
Sir, can we start?
And we've got to be quick with this because I think the press is going to begin shortly.
I welcome you all to this press conference by the Election Commission of India to announce the schedule for the state assembly elections in Maharashtra and Jharkhand. We have with us on the dais Honorable Chief Election Commissioner Shri Rajiv Kumar Ji, Honorable Election Commissioners Shri Ganesh Kumar Ji and Dr. Sukhbir Singh Sandhu Ji. We also have with us on dais Senior Deputy Election Commissioners and Deputy Election Commissioners of the Election Commission of India. I am Anuj Chandak, Joint Director Media for the Election Commission. The format of the press conference will be as follows. There will be a brief address by the Honorable CEC along with a very informative presentation. The copy of presentation will be shared with you along with the press note and all of the details after the press conference conclude. After the address by Honorable CEC, we will be having a question and answer session. I would request all of you to kindly raise your hand and the mic will come to you. Kindly introduce yourself, your name and organization, and ask your question. Thank you so much. Now I would request Honorable CEC to kindly address the media.
माननीय निर्वाचन आयोग श्री गणेश कुमार जी on my right side, निर्वाचन आयोग डॉक्टर सुखबीर सिंह जी संधू on my left, आयोग के वरिष्ठ अधिकारीगण और मीडिया के सभी फ्रेंड्स और इस प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में जुड़े हुए सभी हमारे वोटर्स, आप सबका इस प्रेस वार्ता में स्वागत है. We welcome you all at this press conference, which is about the declaration of the schedule for the ensuing state assembly elections in Maharashtra and Jharkhand. Friends, मैं इस वार्ता को शुरू करने से पहले चुनाव आयोग की तरफ से और आपके माध्यम से सर्वप्रथम हरियाणा और जम्मू कश्मीर के सभी मतदाताओं को, वोटर्स को चुनाव में बहुत ही सशक्त, दमदार पार्टिसिपेशन के लिए मुबारकबाद देना चाहता हूं, धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं। जम्मू कश्मीर की आवाम ने जमहूरियत के जश्न को ऐतिहासिक बना दिया। भारी संख्या में पार्टिसिपेट कर अपने जमहूरी हक का शानदार उपयोग किया और जिसने लोकतंत्र की मजबूत नींव रखी है। दुनिया में सबसे बड़े लोकतंत्र के रूप में भारत हर चुनाव में गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड्स तय कर रहा है, रिकॉर्ड बना रहा है। इन दोनों चुनावों में जो जज्बा दिखाया गया वो लंबे समय तक याद रहेगा। आप सबको वो पिक्चर्स, वो माहौल निश्चित रूप से याद रहेगा। जम्मू कश्मीर की आवाम ने जमहूरियत के जश्न में लोकसभा चुनावों में जो बुनियाद बनाई थी, उस पर एक बहुत ही सशक्त इमारत असेंबली इलेक्शंस में लिखी है और इस जनादेश ने नई आशाएं और उम्मीदों को संचार दिया है। नाउ इट इज ओवर टू द पीपल ऑफ J&K टू टेक दिस डेमोक्रेटिक जर्नी फॉरवर्ड। और हम एक नया गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड और सेट कर रहे हैं। जस्ट टू रिमाइंड यू, जस्ट टू रिकॉल, चुनाव घोषणा के समय ही हम अपना इरादा घोषित करने लगे हैं। हम अपनी विल और इंटेंट को पहले बताते हैं और उसे पूरा करके दिखाते हैं। जस्ट टू टेक यू डाउन द मेमोरी लेन, लोकसभा के चुनाव के समय, हम अनाउंसमेंट के समय हमने वादा किया था कि हम 4M की चुनौतियों से निपटेंगे और हिंसा, पुनर्मतदान, धन और सोशल मीडिया के दुरुपयोग की अनुमति नहीं देंगे। और आप सब जानते हैं कि हमने वो करके दिखाया। भारत के चुनावों की गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड्स की कड़ी में हम एक और नया अध्याय लिख रहे हैं। इसी को आगे बढ़ाते हुए J&K अनाउंसमेंट के समय अगर मैं आपको फिर से याद दिलाऊं कि चुनाव से पहले किस प्रकार की थ्रेट्स थी, आतंकी हमले बढ़ रहे थे। लोग, आप सब लोगों में से बहुत लोग ये भी पूछ रहे थे कि पता नहीं चुनाव आयोग J&K में चुनाव कराएगा कि नहीं कराएगा। और 16 अगस्त को जब चुनाव की घोषणा का समय था, तो इसी प्लेनरी हॉल में हमने अप फ्रंट और बोल्ड वादा किया था। और मुझे याद है मैंने कहा था कि जमहूरियत के जश्न में आपकी शिरकत दुनिया देखेगी नापाक इरादों की शिकस्त की कहानी। और वो कहानी आपने सबने देखी और वो कहानी पूरे वर्ल्ड ने देखी। चुनाव को इंड्यूसमेंट फ्री बनाया गया और जहां J&K में चुनाव कराने का विषय होता था, वहां सीजर्स में 130 करोड़ रुपए के सीजर्स हुए, विच इज 100 टाइम्स मोर देन 2014 इलेक्शंस। तो पहले ये बात भी नहीं होती थी कि सीजर्स भी करना है, इस पावर को रोकना भी है। सिमिलरली इन हरियाणा, सीजर्स वर टू द ट्यून ऑफ अराउंड 75 करोड़, 4 टाइम्स मोर देन 2019 इलेक्शंस। इन दोनों राज्यों के चुनावों में भी नील रीपोल रहे। देयर वाज नॉट इवन अ सिंगल रीपोल इन बोथ द स्टेट्स, इंक्लूडिंग द स्टेट ऑफ जम्मू कश्मीर। कोई वायलेंस नहीं हुई, जीरो वायलेंस, इंक्लूडिंग द स्टेट ऑफ जम्मू कश्मीर। एक भी लाठी नहीं चली, एक भी गोली नहीं चली। आप सब इस बात के गवाह हैं। आपने देखे शिकस्त के नजारे। एंड लेट अस गिव एन ओवेशन टू द वोटर्स ऑफ जम्मू कश्मीर एंड हरियाणा। चुनाव दर चुनाव घटती हुई हिंसा, बढ़ती भागीदारी, रिकॉर्ड सीजर्स, मतदाता बिल्कुल स्पष्ट संदेश दे रहे हैं that they have full belief, they are very participating in the electoral process। लेकिन कोई बात नहीं, फिर भी अगर मुझे याद आए तो कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है कहना। हम उसके बिना चिंता किए आगे बढ़ते हैं, अपना काम सशक्त तरीके से करते हैं, ये आपको विश्वास दिलाते हैं। सो फ्रेंड्स, नाउ वी कम टू महाराष्ट्र एंड झारखंड, जहां पर अब उत्सव का समय है। हाल ही में हमने झारखंड और महाराष्ट्र में विजिट की थी और वहाँ पर पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज, डीओज, एसपीज, आईजीज, कमिश्नर्स, एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसी सबके साथ बैठक की थी और पूरे व्यवस्था को समझा और उसका रिव्यू किया था। सो बिफोर वी कम टू द शेड्यूल, लेट मी शेयर सम बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट दीज टू स्टेट्स विद यू। Total districts in Maharashtra 36 with 288 assembly constituencies, of which 234 are general, and scheduled tribes constituencies 25 and SC constituencies 29. Term of the Assembly of the Maharashtra is ending on 26th November 2024. If we talk about the number of electors in Maharashtra, they are 9.63 crores, 4.97 crores male and 4.66 crores female voters. Young voters की संख्या जिस पे काफी जोर दिया गया था SSR में 1.85 crores, और उसमें से 20.93 lakhs are first time voters of 18 to 19 age group. If we tell you about the polling stations in Maharashtra, there are total 1,186 polling stations, and at 52,789 locations. Urban being 42,604 and rural being 57,582. इस बार भी हम PWD मैनेज्ड बूथ्स बनाएंगे, विमेन मैनेज्ड बूथ्स बनाएंगे महाराष्ट्र में भी. मॉडल PSS की संख्या 530 रहेगी. अगर झारखंड में की चर्चा करें तो टोटल डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स की संख्या है 24, टोटल असेंबलीज 81, जिसमें से जनरल 44, STs 28 एंड SCs 9. झारखंड की असेंबली का टर्म 5 जनवरी 2025 को कंप्लीट हो रहा है, और अगर झारखंड में इलेक्टर्स की बात करें तो 2.6 करोड़ वोटर्स, जिसमें 1.29 करोड़ फीमेल एंड 1.31 करोड़ मेल. First time voters between 18 to 19 years are 11.84 lakh and 66.84 young voters in Jharkhand also. In the centenarian, number of centenarian voters is 1,706 and 3.67 lakhs PWD voters, plus 1.14 lakh voters are of the age of 85 and plus in Jharkhand. If I give you an overview of polling stations in Jharkhand, पूरे polling stations की संख्या होगी 29,562, और जो कि 20,221 लोकेशंस पर फैले हुए होंगे. अर्बन संख्या वहां कम है 5,042, और रूरल परिवेश ज्यादा है, इसलिए रूरल बूथ्स की संख्या होगी 24,520. यहां पर भी विमेन मैनेज्ड बूथ्स, यूथ मैनेज्ड बूथ, PWD मैनेज्ड बूथ्स बनाए जाएंगे. एवरेज वोटर्स की संख्या पर बूथ इज 881. पर्टिकुलरली वल्नरेबल ट्राइबल ग्रुप्स पे, जैसे मैंने पहले भी आपसे चर्चा की है, कमीशन का उनको एनरोल करने के लिए, उनको एम्पावर करने के लिए बहुत एम्फेसिस है. महाराष्ट्र में 3 PVTGs हैं, कटकरी, कोलम एंड मारियागौंड, और झारखंड में 8 पर्टिकुलरली वल्नरेबल ट्राइबल ग्रुप्स हैं, जिनकी आबादी 1.78 लाख है. उसमें असुर, बिरोर, मालपाड़िया, पहाड़िया, सौर्या, पहाड़िया, बिरजिया, कोवार एंड सावर. इन सबका लगभग 100% एनरोलमेंट इलेक्टरल रोल में किया गया है. सभी DOs ये कोशिश करेंगे कि जो भी बूथ्स इनके यहाँ बने वो बहुत सहज इनके ही परिवेश में बने, और इस तरह की स्वीप एक्टिविटी करें कि वो सबके सब अधिकतर मात्रा में अपने मतों का प्रयोग कर सकें. मैं फिर से रिपीट करना चाहता हूं कि सभी पोलिंग स्टेशंस पे एश्योर्ड मिनिमम फैसिलिटीज होंगी. पिछली बार मुंबई शहर से कुछ ऐसी इंफॉर्मेशन, शिकायतें आई थी कि वहां पर कुछ बूथ्स पे ज़्यादा पोलिंग स्टेशंस एक जगह होने की वजह से प्रॉब्लम थी. इस बार हमने रिव्यू में बहुत ही सख्त हिदायतें दी हैं, उनको रिव्यू किया, रेशनलाइज किया गया है पोलिंग स्टेशंस को. तो हम उम्मीद करते हैं DOs विल वर्क, और वहाँ इस बार म्युनिसिपल कमिश्नर मुंबई को DO भी घोषित किया गया है, ताकि जितने रिसोर्सेज उनके पास हैं उन सबको वो उसमें इस्तेमाल कर सकें. एक और व्यवस्था की गई है जो हम पीछे से कोशिश कर रहे थे, अब हमने उसकी इंस्ट्रक्शंस भी इशू कर दी हैं कि पोलिंग लाइन जब लगती है तो उसमें लाइन के बीच में भी थोड़ी कुर्सियां या बेंच लगाएं, ताकि अगर आधा घंटा लग रहा है तो बीच बीच में कहीं ना कहीं 5-7-10 मिनट के बाद आप 2-3 मिनट के लिए बैठ जाएं तो थोड़ा अच्छा लगता है, मतलब थकान थोड़ी कम महसूस होती है, खासतौर से बुजुर्ग लोगों को। तो ये व्यवस्था भी सब पोलिंग स्टेशंस पे रहेगी। Friends, if I come to the next, ease of voting for senior citizens PWDs, this will be followed. All the experience of the pan-India coverage of facilities for the persons with disabilities and senior citizens. हर senior citizen जो 85 years से ऊपर हैं, उनको घर से वोट देने की सुविधा उपलब्ध रहेगी। फॉर्म 12D वितरित किए जाएंगे सबको, और जो भी उसको भर के देते हैं उनके पास में हमारी टीम वोट लेने जाएगी, और जाने के समय में सभी कैंडिडेट्स को लिखित में उस रूट चार्ट का और उस जगह की सूचना देगी, ताकि वो साथ में एकम्पनी कर सकें और उनको ऐसा महसूस ना हो कि किसी के घर पर किसी ने प्राइवेसी ऑफ द वोट को नहीं मेंटेन किया। दे आर एंटाइटल्ड, दे आर वेलकम टू पार्टिसिपेट एंड गो along with the polling parties to the houses of the senior citizens and PWDs. और पूरी जो व्यवस्था है उसकी वीडियोग्राफी ऑफ कोर्स गोज विदाउट सेइंग विल बी डन, सो दैट देयर इज ए फुल प्रूफ रिकॉर्ड। वैसे भी पूरे चुनाव में आप जानते हैं कि कोई भी प्रक्रिया ऐसी नहीं है जिसमें वीडियोग्राफी ना होती हो, जिसका रिकॉर्ड ना रखा हो, सो दैट जहां पर कैंडिडेट्स पार्टिसिपेट ना करते हो और जहां पर वीडियोग्राफी ना होती हो। सो एवरी प्रोसेस ऑफ दिस कैन ऑलवेज बी चेक्ड एंड सीन। जैसे क्रिकेट में एक्शन रिप्ले होता है, तो अगर वहाँ गेम के समय एक्शन रिप्ले नहीं हो सकता तो बाद में हर जगह हर प्रोसेस की वीडियोग्राफी को देखा जा सकता है। इसी प्रकार से जो नेक्स्ट अगर मैं आपको बताऊं तो जो टेक्नोलॉजी है उसका हम फिर से बहुत यूज़ करेंगे। वोटर हेल्पलाइन ऐप में सभी वोटर्स अपनी सारी डिटेल्स देख सकते हैं, वो कहाँ मतदाता सूची में कहाँ नाम है, कहाँ फैमिली टुगेदर है, कहाँ उनको पोलिंग स्टेशन है, वो सब चीज़ देख सकते हैं। सी विजिल ऑफ कोर्स वी हैव बीन वेरी एंथ्यूज्ड। जैसे लास्ट पार्लियामेंट्री इलेक्शन में हमारे 10,000 करोड़ के सीजर्स हुए, जैसे मैंने अभी बताया J&K एंड हरियाणा में भी रिकॉर्ड सीजर हुए। वी आर श्योर दैट इन झारखंड एंड महाराष्ट्र ऑल्सो द वोटर्स, द enlightened voters will inform us on C Vigil about any malpractice which they notice in their area, and we will reach there in 90 minutes to handle it. सभी कैंडिडेट्स जिनकी क्रिमिनल बैकग्राउंड है उन्हें अपनी सूचना देनी पड़ेगी 3 बार पेपर्स में, और सभी वोटर्स एज ए मैटर ऑफ राइट can see on our app which is KYC Know Your Candidate. हमने जो मीटिंग्स, मैं आपको सिर्फ सारांश में ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि जो मीटिंग्स हमने झारखंड और महाराष्ट्र में की, तो डीओज स्टेट एजेंसीज को बहुत ही सख्त हिदायतें दी हैं। मतलब बहुत ही सख्त मीन्स बहुत ही सख्त, कि वो हर तरीके से फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शंस कराएंगे, हर तरीके से लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड को एस्टेब्लिश करेंगे। उनको ये स्पष्ट बताया गया है कि किसी भी पदाधिकारी के विरुद्ध अगर ऐसी सूचना आती है और ये प्रमाणित होता है कि उन्होंने कोई भी कार्य ऐसा किया जिससे लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड डिस्टर्ब होती है, एक पार्टी को पक्ष एक पार्टी को नुकसान, तो वेरी स्टर्न एक्शन विल बी टेकन अगेंस्ट देम। दिस हैज बीन वेरी वेरी क्लियरली टोल्ड टू एवरीवन। किसी भी तरीके का प्रलोभन, वही 4 M's जो पहले हमने बात की थी, मनी का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, फ्रीबीज का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, शराब का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, ड्रग्स का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन will all be under strict watch. All airports, all landings of the aircrafts in the field will all be checked. There would be extensive polling, the checkposts on the borders of the interstate for checking interstate movement, और कहीं से भी मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी टीम्स वहाँ बनाने के लिए कहा गया है, यानी जिसमें एक्साइज भी होगा, पुलिस भी होगी, जीएसटी भी होगी, ट्रांसपोर्ट के भी लोग होंगे, ताकि वो 24/7 उनकी चेकिंग कर सकें। और साथ में ये भी हिदायत दी गई है कि चेकिंग का मतलब ये नहीं है कि कॉमन सिटीजन को कोई भी हैरेसमेंट होना चाहिए। दैट प्रिकॉशन मस्ट वेरी वेरी केयरफुली बी टेकन अबाउट ऑल ऑफ देम। सभी पोलिंग स्टेशंस 2 किलोमीटर के अंदर हों। किसी भी कंट्रोल रूम्स की स्थापना होगी हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में, so that they can handle the social media narratives if there is anything which is wrongly being conveyed. ये सब का सब वहाँ पर निश्चित रूप से व्यवस्था होगी. सारांश में, if I summarize everything before coming to schedule, I would like to say that चुनाव लोकतंत्र का ऐसा त्योहार है और ऐसा उत्सव और पर्व है जिसमें सभी वोटर्स की भागीदारी बिल्कुल आवश्यक है, वांछनीय है, आवश्यक है, रिक्वेस्टेड है. We appeal to everyone to come and vote in large numbers in these elections also. साथ ही सभी राजनीतिक दल, सभी कैंडिडेट्स से भी अनुरोध है कि पूरे नियमों का पालन करते हुए कैंपेनिंग के दौरान निर्भय होकर कैंपेनिंग करें. लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड एस्टेब्लिश करना हमारा काम है, लेकिन उसको वायलेट ना हो, उसमें कोई एक्सेसेस ना हो, ये उनका भी काम है. Now I come to the schedule for Maharashtra. This will be in single phase. The notifications, date of notifications are in front of you. 22nd October would be date of notification. Last date of making nomination would be 29th October. Scrutiny on 30th October. And last date for withdrawal 4th, and date of poll in Maharashtra would be 20th 11. Counting would be on 23rd 11 24, and you will notice that date of poll is Wednesday. This is deliberately, which lot of scheduling, whatever goes into scheduling, we have tried that it is midday, so that issue of urban apathy is handled. And in case of urban apathy, we are really very concerned. We want to make appeal through you to all our esteemed voters in the urban areas to please come and vote. It's not a healthy trend which is reflected. If I give you a brief of what is happening across the elections in the urban apathy, we will share this slide with you. If you look at various states, you look at Gurgaon, you look at Faridabad recently. Last elections, you look at Jubilee Hills, Hyderabad. You look at Bangalore South. You look at Gujarat, Gandhigram, Kolaba, Mumbai City, Pune, Thane, all are much below the state averages of each state. We will be conducting a special meeting of the municipal commissioners and DOs within a week's time to appeal again to do whatever we can do to motivate the voters in the urban areas, but the trends are really not good. If I show you the Lok Sabha, that was the Lok Sabha. If I show you legislative assemblies, see the lowest. The Kolaba was just 40%. 62 of 64 urban ACs in Maharashtra were less than the state average in 2019. So was the case in the parliamentary elections 2024 also. And just to give you a contrast, if you compare, so what was the situation in Lok Sabha in Kalyan was 50%, Mumbai South 50, Mumbai North, Thane, Pune, Mumbai South, everything 53%. And these were the lowest 6 parliamentary constituencies out of the lowest 10. So that's the state of the urban apathy. We would be doing everything to counter it. Last time in 24 elections, we had all celebrities, all corporates, Amul, everyone involved. We'll do it again. And we'll also, at this point, emphasize that this contrasts with a very positive trend in the constituencies like Doda, 72%, Riyasi, 74%, Punch, 74%, Rajouri, 71%. If they can go 70 plus, Kolaba can also go 40 plus. In 24 Lok Sabha elections, Bastar was 68%, 69%. Gadchiroli, Manipur, states after state, tough areas. So we'll be requesting through you, we'll have a special drive this time for the slum areas in urban areas and also the colonies, all alike to have a real urban push. I do not want to name a specific thing, but there are booths in Faridabad and Gurgaon in the recently held elections, and they are the poshest places where voting has been around 20%. So again, we will be doing a lot of work on this to do whatever we can do to attract the urban voters. Now, friends, coming to Jharkhand. झारखंड एक बहुत ही समृद्ध स्टेट है, बहुत ही उसकी विरासत है, और वहाँ पर हम फिर से अपील करेंगे कि सब वोटर्स अधिक से अधिक मात्रा में वोट दें. शेड्यूल वुड बी लाइक दिस. झारखंड वुड बी इन 2 phases. The date of poll, first phase would be on, date of poll would be on 13th November, and the second phase would be along with Maharashtra on 20th November. So the date of issue of notification for Jharkhand phase 1 would be 18th, and for phase 2 would be 22nd along with Maharashtra. Nominations for phase 1 would be till 25th of October, and for phase 2, 29th. This slide we will share with everyone. And date of poll would be 13th November and 20th November, both Wednesdays. And date of counting would be 23rd 11, that is Saturday. With this, we end our presentation with the request that through you, that all the voters of Jharkhand and Maharashtra कृपया बाहर आइए, कृपया वोट करिए. लोकतंत्र के उत्सव में आपकी भागीदारी कि हम बहुत ही रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं, अपील करते हैं आपसे. Thank you very much.
So by elections. So we will come back. We'll come back. So,
okay. Sorry. By elections also. By elections. We have 48 ACs and 2 PCs in 15 states. They will also undergo the elections this time. All the 48 ACs and 2 PCs, the schedule would be like this. All the except 1 AC and 1 PC, where because of the festivities in some region, all 47 ACs and 1 PC of Kerala would undergo the election along with the phase 1 of Jharkhand. The same schedule. 13th November would be date of poll. And only for 2 ACs, one for assembly and one for parliament. That is Kedarnath in Uttarakhand, because on 12th there is a gazetted holiday and dispersal of the parties takes place on that day. Therefore, it is on 20th. And similarly for Maharashtra, except that everything would be during the first phase. Thank you very much.
thank you, sir, for the very comprehensive briefing. Now we will take questions from the media. Please, the gentleman in the blue shirt, please. Thank you.
सर, मेरा नाम प्रशांत लीला रामदास है. मैं न्यूज़ 18 लोकमत से हूँ और मेरा एक सवाल इस तरह का है कि कांग्रेस ने डिमांड की थी जो वहाँ के पुलिस महासंचालक है रश्मि शुक्ला, इनको हटाने को लेकर, इसको लेकर आयोग क्या सोच रहा है और उस पर क्या निर्णय होगा?
Question from that side also. From the pink shirt, second row, Mr. Shailesh Yadav.
This was about DG.
सर मैं शैलेश यादव ANI से. अभी हाल ही में चुनाव संपन्न हुए हैं जम्मू कश्मीर और हरियाणा में, और लोकसभा इलेक्शन के बाद देखा गया है कि एग्जिट पोल जो हैं एकदम उल्टे रहे हैं या जो है एकदम गलत साबित हुए हैं. और इसको लेके पब्लिक में सवाल ये उठता है कि एग्जिट पोल में तो सरकार इनकी बन रही है और नतीजा उल्टा है, उस पर EVM पे सवाल उठाए जाते हैं, जिसकी शिकायत आपसे कुछ पार्टियों ने करी थी, जिनका एग्जिट पोल में ये था कि सरकार बन रही है और जब EVM का रिजल्ट आया तो सरकार बदल गई. तो इस तरह के एग्जिट पोल को लेके आपका क्या कहना है? क्योंकि सवाल जब उठते हैं तो आपकी तरफ से जो है बाहर नहीं आता है कि क्या इलेक्शन कमीशन सोच रहा है इस पे.
Last row, madam was raising the hand. Please. Yes.
So just wanted a clarification for the assembly constituencies and parliamentary constituency by polls. So it's Wayanad and Nanded, the two parliamentary constituencies voting, right?
Yes. 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 There is a EP. There is a EP pending. Yeah.
Gentlemen in the, yes, please.
Sir, I am Sandeep Rajgolkar from TV9 Marathi. मेरा सवाल ये है जो अभी जो सरकार में जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज है उनको अब मिले, अपोजिशन को मिले, उन्होंने मांग की थी, जो पार्टी अभी सरकार में है उन्होंने मांग की थी कि एक फेज में ही वोटिंग हो, और अपोजिशन ने तब टीका पर की थी उन पर कि 2 या 3 फेज में होना चाहिए। तो उनकी मांग थी इसलिए किया क्योंकि छोटा हो के भी झारखंड में वहां पे 2 फेज है और महाराष्ट्र में 1 ही फेज है।
We have gentlemen in the first row, please.
Good evening, sir. Samne, sir.
All right then, the election dates are with us, ladies and gentlemen. Even as the question and answer session does go on, if there is something of grave significance, we will play that reaction out for you from the Chief Election Commissioner. But my colleague, input editor Brijesh Pandey continues to be with us on the broadcast here. So is Ajit K. Jha, senior journalist. Many thanks for patiently waiting with us, Mr. Ajit. You know, Brijesh, first and foremost, that very question that the journalist was taking up, you've got a 2-phase Jharkhand Assembly election, 13th and the 20th respectively, but only a single phase elections for Maharashtra that has 288 seats vis-a-vis Jharkhand that has just 81.
I would like to assume that, you know, that the decision must have been taken on the basis of the LWE, which is there, the left-wing extremism, and based on security concerns, Jharkhand would have gone to poll on in 2 phases, and in Maharashtra such scenario might not have been there, and that is the reason why the entire Maharashtra has gone in one single phases. But that question which was asked, Kabir, I must say that that's a very politically loaded question, because the opposition parties are saying they had said that, you know, that the election should be held in 2 phases, and the government said it should have been done in 1. So we can see another round of brickbats as far as the Election Commission is concerned.
All right. Ajitji, how are you looking at these dates? 20th of November for Maharashtra, and of course 13th October and 20th October respectively for Jharkhand. Counting for both of these states on the 23rd, certainly exciting matchup and matchups rather in front of us.
Well, you know, Kabir, I think my answer would be very similar to what Brijesh said, that Jharkhand is basically a very difficult state to have election. It's a hilly state. You know, it's filled with lakes and falls and hills. So campaigning is also quite tough there. It's almost like the Northeast. Even to do a small campaigning, you have to spend a lot of money because many of these tribal villages are back in the hills. But the most important reason is that one part of Jharkhand is considered under the Maoist influence for a very, very long time. You know, the left-wing extremist states run from Jharkhand all the way down to Odisha, to even Andhra and Telangana and to Vidarbha part of Maharashtra. But Jharkhand is particularly very affected by it, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand. So I think that is the reason. The super sensitive booths, the numbers would be very high in terms of percentage in Jharkhand, whereas Maharashtra, even Vidarbha's problem of extremism has largely been sorted out. So Maharashtra is that way a very, very modern state. Of course, it's a very large state, as we know, 288 assembly seats. But let me just take up that question that you asked me before the press conference began. You asked me, what about seat sharing between the MVA partners? I wanted to give a short answer. See, the main fight is between the Congress and Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray group. The Shiv Sena is generally supposed to be very strong in Bombay. The Congress is supposed to be very strong in Vidarbha. I'm talking about within the MVA.
Right.
But the Congress wants more seats in Mumbai this time. So the Shiv Sena is asking for more seats in Vidarbha. That is the reason for the big fight inside the MVA between the Congress and Shiv Sena. Now, we'll see how this entire bargaining goes. Obviously, the Congress is on the back foot. Why? Because it just lost the Haryana Assembly election. So I think it's quite possible that Uddhav Thackeray might end up getting more of the bargain. But you remember, Congress is the largest party inside the MVA, and it might get some quiet support from the Sharad Pawar NCP faction. So, so let's see what will happen.
Absolutely. And I mean, Haryana route, how it unfolded, we were all here in the studio now, weren't we, Ajit? But on the other side of the divide as well, you've got Ajit Pawar that has vouched a specific amount of seats for the minority that really bode well within the alliance that they have. And mind you, Ajit Pawar was already promised a bigger portion of the pie for the upcoming assembly elections, and well, we're at it. But the Chief Election Commissioner also pointed out that there is going to be 8 assembly constituencies and 2 parliamentary constituencies that are going to be up for grabs in terms of by-polls, and very important parliamentary constituencies. We have spoken about Uttar Pradesh, we've spoken about Jharkhand, we've spoken on Maharashtra, but British, we need to talk a little bit about Wayanad as well. That was one of those seats. I mean, Rahul Gandhi had to vacate one of those seats. It was either the Uttar Pradesh seat, or it was either going to be the Kerala seat, and he chose the UP seat. And Wayanad, well, it's going to be up for grabs. What's going to happen on Wayanad? That's the biggest question everybody was waiting for. We're finally at it.
Well, I think that election in Wayanad is going to be extremely crucial, because Priyanka Gandhi is going to fight from Wayanad, and the BJP and other opposition parties would like to clear the path as much as they can. I mean, given the fact, given the composition, it's going to be not that difficult for her. But one thing is for sure, that all the Congress bigwigs who will be making a beeline to both Maharashtra and Jharkhand will also be making a queue to Wayanad, where they would be campaigning for Priyanka Gandhi, because it's also very, very important for them that Priyanka Gandhi not only wins Wayanad, but also wins Wayanad with a sizable vote difference. The other by-polls have also been announced. The assembly by-polls we discussed 10 by-polls in Uttar Pradesh and others. That is also going to take place on 13th of November. So it's going to be next 30-35 days are going to be intense political campaigning, cutting across party lines, cutting across states, states like Uttarakhand, states like Bihar, and other states, Andhra and others, where all these by-elections will be taking place. But the main focus is going to be, I think, Maharashtra, Jharkhand and Wayanad.
And Wayanad, of course, the 10 seats in Uttar Pradesh as well. Let's not forget that already for the Delhi Assembly elections that are also right around the corner, Baijayant Panda, the Vice President of the Bharatiya Janata Party, the National Vice President, he's been elected as the observer for the national capital. All right, we're going to have to wrap this segment up. We've put out the exact crucial dates on your screens, ladies and gentlemen. For Maharashtra, the polls are going to be taking place on the 20th of November. For Jharkhand, phase 1 on the 13th, phase 2 on the 20th. You've got 48 assembly constituencies and 2 parliamentary constituencies, of course, with Wayanad, that are also going to be up for grabs on the 13th, along with the first phase of the Jharkhand assembly polls. Apart from Nanded, that parliamentary seat is going to be up for grabs on the 20th of November. Now, mind you, Ajit, one final question. We've spoken about Eknath Shinde, we've spoken about Uttar Pradesh, we've spoken about Fadnavis, but a little bit about Jharkhand in terms of the poll issues, the crucial poll issues, the core issues. We've already seen Champai Soren become the chief minister, then he had to vacate that particular seat. Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, Supremo, he went to jail, he came out of jail. Will the corrupt card work for the BJP in Jharkhand?
Well, on the issue of corruption, yes, Hemant Soren is in a lot of trouble. I would completely agree with that. But then Arjun Munda was also fielded by the BJP in the past, and he lost the election, if you remember, during the Lok Sabha. Now, he's another very corrupt guy. So corruption is on both sides. Of course, right now the target is the chief minister. But let me point out that BJP certainly has an edge in Jharkhand. If you look at Jharkhand has about 14 Lok Sabha seats. Out of that, the BJP had won 8 of those, and its alliance partner, the AJSU, All Jharkhand Students Union, had won 1, which is 9 out of 14. So, the BJP, and that is the latest, as I said, the election results. Normally we don't compare Lok Sabha and Assembly, but since it's very close to the Assembly election, let's use that as our yardstick. The JMM had merely won 3. Congress, in fact, did worse. It won 2 when it had contested quite a number of seats. The JMM actually did better. It had contested 5, won 3. The RJD won, the CPIML won. So it's obviously the advantage is for the BJP. You probably have seen that even before the election results were over in Haryana, the BJP has started serious campaign in Jharkhand. The BJP knows that it has a better chance of winning Jharkhand compared to Maharashtra. So even though Jharkhand is a smaller state, but remember the tribal voters, although at this moment the tribal unity is against BJP because of the way they targeted the chief minister, but usually BJP has a solid following among the tribals. See, for example, Odisha, the way they just romped Odisha in the recent both Assembly and Lok Sabha polls. So I think the advantage is still with the BJP, but we will see. Assembly polls can always be, a bit of a surprise, and it all depends on the agenda at the moment once the campaign begins.
Well, regaining control of Madhya Pradesh, wresting back control of Chhattisgarh, then, you rightly pointed out what's happened in Odisha. Maybe the momentum is with them. But again, interesting point for all of us to wait and find out exactly what's going to happen. As India votes, what's at stake? We're going to wrap up this segment, go into a commercial breather here. Many thanks, Ajit, for joining with us. Brijesh, always a pleasure to be speaking to you here in the studio. But we're going to end with that, little tweet by the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, if the control room could really put it out. That tweet right before the election commission, wanted to, put out those dates. It said, और झारखंड चुनाव समय से 1 महीना पहले, 1 month before the Jharkhand elections were supposed to take place. कल भाजपा चुनाव प्रभारी ने कहा, आज चुनावों की घोषणा करेगी ECI, और हुआ भी वही. सब सेट कर दिया है बॉस ने. The boss has set everything up. What's the scene? Asks JMM. Election commission, will you not say anything? That's the question. I mean, of course, I don't want anybody to stick their neck out, but Brijesh,
I just have 30 seconds, Kabir, if I can have. Because there's also the one, tweet or a statement made by opposition leader where they said that, how, if Israel can explode pages, then why can't EVM be rigged? So, the CEC replied that, that pages can be exploded, but EVMs can't be rigged because it is not connected to anybody. So, right from Israel war, which is warfare, which is going down there, to elections in India. I mean, everything is going on as far as elections are concerned.
This is nothing less of a warfare in itself. We're talking about a political warfare. We'll have to wait and find out. But the date in front of us, Brijesh, the hangover wasn't even over from Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir, and it seems like we already have these 2 crucial polls to look at. Delhi Assembly elections right after this, 48 Assembly constituencies and 2 parliamentary constituencies up for grabs as by-polls as well. 20th of November for Maharashtra, 13th and 20th respectively for Jharkhand, and of course 13th and 20th again respectively for the by-polls as well. We're going to slip into a quick commercial break here. Top developments on the other side. Keep it with News9 Live.
Let yourself flow with the turn of each tide.
Salty winds, you sweeten your ride. Maharashtra is the hit.
Maharashtra Tourism.
Why is the state not looking at putting an embargo on that?
As a Telangana person, I will not accept.
How do ordinary folks deal with this?
Welcome back. The Supreme Court today resumed the hearing on the suo motu case registered in connection with the rape and murder of a junior doctor at the RG Kar Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata. The bench, which was headed by Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud, reviewed the CBI's ongoing investigation into the rape and murder case. The CBI, in its charge sheet, had named Sanjay Roy, a civic police volunteer, as the sole accused in the case. And the CBI has also said that the investigation is ongoing regarding the role of the remaining people accused in this case. CBI is also investigating financial irregularities at the medical college. The court has asked the CBI to file a new status report in 3 weeks' time regarding both aspects of the investigation. The lower court has taken cognizance of the CBI charge sheet and fixed November 4th as the date for framing charges against Sanjay Roy. The court also inquired as to why the National Task Force, the NTF, had not had any meeting after the 9th of September. The task force has been constituted by the Supreme Court to suggest measures for the safety of doctors in the hospital premises. The Supreme Court had earlier directed the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology to appoint a nodal officer to take down social media posts divulging the identity of the victim. Meanwhile, junior doctors' network of the Indian Medical Association are holding a 12-hour-long hunger strike at medical colleges and hospitals across the country, all in solidarity with the protesting junior doctors at the RG Kar Hospital. The fast unto death by the junior doctors at the RG Kar has now entered its 11th day, even as another medic was admitted to hospital due to deteriorating health. The doctors are demanding justice for the rape victim and have also called for the removal of Health Secretary. Other demands include better facilities for doctors and taking measures towards establishing a safer working environment for the doctors. Moving on, in a bid to restore peace in Manipur, MLAs from the Methi, Kuki and Naga communities met in the national capital today. This is the first meeting since the ethnic violence erupted in the state 17 months ago. The Ministry of Home Affairs called the meeting to address differences between the Methi and the Kuki communities. Attendees included State Assembly Speaker. Naga representation came from MLAs Ram Muiva, Avangbo Nevmai and El Dekho. However, Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh did not attend the meet. The Kuki MLAs have pushed for a separate administration or a union territory for their community. This meeting is being seen as a crucial step towards healing divisions in ethnic strife-torn hilly state of Manipur. Notable mentions at this point in time is that the Home Minister and the Chief Minister were not present at this meet. But this is the first time that members from all the three communities, the Nagas, the Kukis and the Methis, were on the same table. Moving on, take a look at this. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, he's arrived in Islamabad to attend the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting, the SCO summit, and this was the very first visit by an Indian foreign minister in nearly a decade to Pakistan. The two-day SCO Council of Heads of Government meeting is being attended by member states including Russia, China, Iran and Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. The Prime Ministers of Belarus and Mongolia are also attending the meeting. Jaishankar is likely to attend a banquet reception to be hosted by Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif this evening. And both sides have ruled out any bilateral talks between Jaishankar and his Pakistan counterpart Ishaq Dar on the sidelines of the summit. The last Indian foreign minister to visit Pakistan was Sushma Swaraj in December 2015. Well, time for us to slip into a quick commercial breather here. Top developments right on the other side. Keep it with News9 Live.
So I'm Payal Nath, the CEO and Director of Kadam Heart. We are working with people, we are working with emotions, we are working with hands, we are working with nature.
We are very clear, we want to commit to livelihoods, we want to commit to the planet, we want to impact 1 million artisans, which is 1 million families minimum.
Be the change that you want to see.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Why is the state not looking at putting an embargo on that?
As a Telangana person, I will not accept.
How do ordinary folks deal with this?
Welcome back. News from the world of sports. France did not miss their captain Kylian Mbappe at all as his replacement, Randal Kolo Muani, scored a brace to set up a 2-1 win over Belgium and maintain French hopes of qualifying for the quarterfinals of the Nations League. Paris Saint-Germain striker Muani was on mark in the 35th and the 62nd minute, with Belgium's Louis Openda striking for the hosts in between his two goals. It was a harsh blow for the hosts, who had dominated play in Brussels and fluffed a penalty off their own following William Saliba's ungainly lunge on Louis Openda midway through the first half. Now, French came for the second half with more bite and intent. They pinned the Belgians back into their own half and took the lead when Kolo Muani headed Lucas Digne's cross from the left wing past the goalkeeper Koen Casteels. Aurélien Tchouameni's expulsion in the 76th minute for a second yellow card changed the complexion of the tie as France tried to hold on to their advantage and Belgium later on pressed for an equalizer. France held for the victory and needed a point from their next match against Israel on the 14th of November to advance to the last 8 of the UEFA Nations League. Meanwhile, Real Madrid forward and France captain Kylian Mbappe trained on his own at the gym and looks on course to be back for Real Madrid's next match. The club has confirmed that Mbappe hit the gym as part of a plan to recover fully from a muscle injury in his left leg. Mbappe faced criticism in his home country last week for skipping France's Nations League games against Israel and Belgium to prioritize his return to action for Real Madrid. Thibaut Courtois, who continues his recovery process following the injury he suffered on the 29th of September against Atletico de Madrid, also trained on Monday, as did his goalkeeping understudy Andre Lunin, who was back at work after a bout of gastroenteritis, according to the club. Well, the international break is soon going to be over. Club football is going to resume. But Portugal head coach Roberto Martinez insisted his captain Cristiano Ronaldo is no ordinary 39-year-old ahead of their second Nations League match of the international break away to Scotland on Tuesday. The coach added that Ronaldo doesn't work like a 39-year-old player, and he certainly doesn't play like a 39-year-old player. The five-time Ballon d'Or winner, who has piled his trade with Saudi Arabia's Al Nassr since 2023, was on the pitch for over an hour in Portugal's 3-1 victory over Poland on Saturday before being replaced by Liverpool forward Diogo Jota. Ronaldo scored the Selecao's second just before half-time to make it 3 goals from the opening 3 matches of the current Nations League campaign. Roberto Martinez, however, came under criticism for his decision to stick with Ronaldo as his starting striker after Portugal's disappointing quarter-final exit from Euro 2024. Ronaldo led the line for Portugal in all 5 matches at the tournament in Germany, but failed to score at a major international competition for the first time in his career. But the coach insisted that the age of a player does not come into play.
The age of a player doesn't come to play. Ronaldo doesn't work as a 39 years old player. He doesn't play certainly as a 39 years old player. I think we assess in every player in how they feel. Cristiano's been difficulty of playing 2 games away from home. Is more how can you prepare between the 2 games, how can you recover with the players, and I feel that we've got 26 players. That was the decision to be able to we could use, and we'll have a team to start the game, a team to finish the game, and then even another group of players that they can come in the second game. So I'm confident that we can carry on adding information, but in terms of I've got no doubt that Cristiano after 60 minutes can be involved in the second game. I don't know if he can start or if he can finish the game, but he can certainly be involved as he showed in the last camp.
Well, sticking to football but shifting continents, Nigeria have pulled out of their Africa Cup of Nations qualifier in Libya and returned home yesterday, all in protest at being diverted and abandoned for hours in an airport far from the match venue. The Super Eagles were due to play Libya on Tuesday in the city of Benghazi, where they hope to seal a qualification berth for the finals in Morocco late next year.